when we talk about outsourcing it or developing in-source, is there a economic curve for when a company should consider developing their own AI?
Yeah.
In
I
terms
think
of
it depends very much on so many things that it depends on. I think depends on of course, can you afford it at this stage if you're a small company, because sometimes if it's advanced, I mean it's an infrastructure, an AI infrastructure and system that needs to be in place, and maybe as a small company, and maybe you can get access to certain part of it by outsourcing. It's nothing that you can develop yourself in-house, so to say. So I think, and maybe that's the best advice, is start small and then successively maybe let's sort of take over and maybe develop internally. I think that is one important part. And I think another question today is, of course, how fast can you scale this? And how fast can you scale the sort of the data management processes that are sort of part of this also. That is, you can start small with certain activities in organizations, but then maybe for at least for business organization, commercial, one big question is, of course, how can you scale this use? Both scale the existing, but also, how should I say, let all functions become more or less integrated. That is, have some kind of data-driven culture in the organization. So I think that, but we're maybe talking about more long-term developments, because we're far from that in many organizations today, both public and private.
On that subject, I just remember the quote from Rupert Murdoch, who's been in the news a lot these days, but he had a sentence that these days in business, it's not about big beating slow, it's about fast beating slow.